Hi everyone, it's Marie here from Nicole Designs. I am making a video today to show you some of these scrapbook.com stamp sets and stencil. Now these are really great, all of these letter stamp sets and then the supporting sentiment stamp sets and this stencil. So you can mix and match all of these to create a few cards, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that today. So also I wanted to let you know to stick around because I have a giveaway going and I'm going to be giving away some scrapbook.com goodies, a bunch of stamps and a bunch of stencils that I've just had a duplicates in my own stash. So I'm going to go ahead and give those away, and I'll tell you how I'm going to do that a little bit later in the video. First, I have my cardstock here taped down to this Mod Circles stencil from scrapbook.com, and I'm also using the scrapbook.com hybrid inks to do some ink blending. Now I am making a rainbow pattern on this card. And I'm starting with red because if you think of the rainbow, your colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So the way I remember it is I think of Roy G. Biv. I don't know if any of you have learned it that way, but that's the way I learned it. So that's always the way I remember the order of the colors. If you put your colors in order like that, they're all going to blend together. You're not going to make mud, and you get this beautiful rainbow gradient. Now I'm using a lot of different colors here of hybrid inks from scrapbook.com. I've started with red. I'm coming in with some pink. I'm also going to go over into some yellows and blues. And for this card, you can definitely load up on all of those different colors to get a rainbow gradient. And I've got another card coming later in the video where I'm going to show you how to use just your 3 primary colors to create a rainbow as well. So if you have all the rainbow colors, go ahead and use them. If you only have a few colors, a few primary colors, you can still make a rainbow. So I'm going to show you how you do that as well. I'm coming in with some of this rubber ducky yellow, and I really like this yellow. I like the name as well. It's just kind of fun to say, and it's really bright. Now these hybrid inks, I'll be honest, I've been surprised at how smoothly they blend on. I've worked with other hybrid inks and they kind of want to stay in their own place, and that's what hybrid inks do. Once you put them onto paper, they like to stay where they're put because they are permanent. So you can use any kind of medium over them. You can watercolor over them. You can do Copics or alcohol markers over them, glitter paste, anything, and they're meant to be permanent once they're dry. So sometimes when you ink blend with them, they don't always like to blend as seamlessly as other brands of ink or water reactive ink. But these are actually pretty smooth and pretty juicy, so I was pleased with how they blended together, and I love this gradient. This blue here is sky blue, and I love this blue color. You can see as it blends with that yellow, you get this really bright green, and I just really love that shade of green. So I was really happy with the ink blending rainbow that I achieved here. So I just blended that on the bottom of my card front, and I'm going to be stamping out my sentiment now using this bold alpha letter cap solid, I think I forget the name. It's the bold caps solid stamp set, I believe. Basically it's your capital letters and they're a solid image. And you can layer them on your cardstock and stamp them out to create your own sentiment. So I'm stamping the word smile here. And I'm using my hybrid inks again because they do stamp well as ink blending. So I want my smile sentiment to be a rainbow gradient as well. So I am just tapping on different colors onto this sentiment. And it's a little bit tricky because it is smaller stamps, but you can do this. The red on the S got a little bit intense. Maybe I should have gone with, another pink or something. But it worked okay, and I'm stamping this out. Now it was a little choppy when I stamped it, so I just went over all of these letters again with yellow, since yellow is a lighter color, and I stamped it out again. So it kind of helps smooth it out a little bit. If you want to kind of get around that, you can get a paper towel and kind of, soften the edges of where those colors blend. But I thought it looked fine, and I really like the rainbow theme going on here. So I've got my sentiment and my background stenciled all ready to go, I wanted to add a little bit of a supporting sentiment with the Wordfetti stamp set. This Wordfetti stamp set has so many different fun sentiments with it. I'm stamping out one that says, "You are my sunshine." But there's also so many uplifting sentiments in this little set that you can add on to any cards or projects that you're using. It would even work great if you do scrapbook layouts and you wanted to stamp a little title on your page or some words or something. So I'm going to go ahead and emboss this on a piece of black cardstock with my Nuvo Glacier White embossing powder. And I'm just going to add this under my smile sentiment. So now I'm just using a little bit of my Nuvo glue. I'm just going to go ahead and glue this sentiment under my other sentiment. And that way that little black piece will kind of help separate the sentiment from my stencil design on the bottom. And adding a little bit of black with your white or your rainbows really makes the colors pop. And I think it just kind of helps to ground the whole card. So I've added a little bit of black here. In my next card, I'm going to add some black pieces as well. And I'm ready to put this smile card panel onto my card base. And I'm using my Scrapbook.com 2-inch wide foam adhesive. And I love this adhesive for card making because it is wide. So if you like to pop up a front panel onto your cards, this is a really great foam adhesive to do it. You can also use just some craft foam and glue that down behind. But I love using this adhesive because it's already double-sided. You don't have to use any more glue. The backing paper peels off really nicely, which is one thing I love with all of my foam tape. And it gives you some nice, even support behind your card panel so it won't sag or crumple as you mail it through the mail to whoever you're mailing it to. So once I've got this adhered down, this card is basically done. I did go back later and put some rainbow Nuvo drops in between that design on the bottom there. You could do sequins, add some sparkle from a sparkle pen or something, but I think it's really fun, just the whole rainbow design as well. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to show you how to take 3 colors and make a rainbow design if you only have 3 colors. Now the colors that I have here are primary colors. You might think that I need a red and a darker blue, but really the primary colors are magenta, cyan, and yellow. Look it up. It's true. It'll blow your mind. It blew mine. But honestly, if you have those 3 colors, you can get a really bright, beautiful rainbow. So I'm putting this Candy Shop pink on one side of my cardstock, and I'm blending it on. I want to blend this about 1/3 of the way through my cardstock, maybe a little bit more. That way, once I start to get my yellow on in the center, I can blend it with that pink to get my orange, and then I'll have my yellow. Now this yellow, you want to start over the yellow or over the pink and blend it out kind of into the bottom third so that you'll have a little bit extra there that will overlap with the blue when you put the blue on. Now, like I mentioned earlier, sometimes with hybrid inks, I don't get a great blend because they kind of try to push each other away, or the colors don't blend quite as well because they like to hold their own. But these colors I found as I worked with them, they were able to blend pretty well, and I got a really nice rainbow gradient on this background. And I also like that they're pretty juicy, so you don't have to go ahead and really try to get a lot on your ink blending tool. They kind of help work with you. So these hybrid inks have been really nice and fun to work with, and I like these vibrant colors. Like I mentioned, I really like this bright yellow because yellow is a great color to blend with other colors. You can get green, you can get orange. So this one's been a really great one to ink blend with. Now, when you're blending colors, it does help to think about it in rainbow order, because if you blend the colors that are next to each other, you should be able to blend them together to get a nice color. If you try to blend something like orange and blue, you might get mud or brown, which might be helpful if that's what you're going for. But if you just remember the order of the rainbow colors and blend the ones that are next to each other, you'll be able to come up with some pretty colors. So I'm bringing in my sky blue here on this other side. I'm blending in from the side and blending over that yellow, and that's going to make that bright green that I really love, this shade of green. Now, this blue did leave some marks from my foam tool because I'm a little bit heavy-handed when I ink blend, but I just kept blending it on. If you get those marks that you don't want from your ink tool, don't scrap your whole piece, don't freak out, just keep blending. Once you get your paper really saturated with ink, it's gonna move around a lot better, and you can actually go back with your different colors and keep working with it, and usually I can get those little marks blended out, unless it's a really dark thick one. Then when that happens, I just put an embellishment over it. But if you work with these inks and really take your time to blend, you can usually blend out any marks that might be left on your page and get a nice smooth blend. So this blue was making some marks over my yellow, so I just went back with my yellow and blended over it, and then after that I came back with my blue and blended over it. So I went back and forth several times to achieve my ink blended panel. So here's my rainbow gradient. You can see it's going from pink, making some orange, yellow, green, and then blue. And I'm just going to go ahead and build the rest of my card. Now I want to make a sentiment with this vintage type lower set. I'm going to go ahead and kind of follow the theme of my first card, stamp out the word smile, and make this a really bright, cheery card. I want my little black strips to come in at an angle, how I had them layered there. So I just took a pencil and drew a line so I know where to stamp my sentiment. This is actually the second time I'm stamping my sentiment. My first time, I did not realize it, but my little letters were still stuck to that clear plastic that you pull off your stamp set. I had it on my Misty door and I arranged my letters and it got stuck to that. So I stamped once and then I tried to stamp again and it shifted. So you can't see it, it's under my Misty magnet, but you'll probably see it a little bit later as I'm building my card. So I just stamped above it. I'm just going to shift all of my black strips up a little bit to cover that mistake. So if you make mistakes on your card, it's okay. You can always cover it up with something, and if you can't, it's just paper. Flip it over, work on the back side, or get a new piece of paper, and you'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp out some more of these supporting sentiments with that Wordfetti set, again with my Nuvo Glacier White embossing powder. And I'm stamping them on these little strips of black cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and layer these all together on top of my rainbow card base. I also have some of these little foam squares from scrapbook.com. These actually fit perfectly behind this black strip of paper that I'm going to cover up my mistake with. You can see that mistake here on my card front. I'm just going to cover that up with this little black strip and nobody's going to know it's there. After I've got this down on foam adhesive, my other little sentiments I'm just going to add with some liquid adhesive and just layer them on there. And then I can go ahead and trim the edges that are hanging off the side with my scissors. And that's basically the card for this card, this rainbow gradient. I did go ahead and die cut a few hearts and glued them on as well. But these are some really simple cards that you guys can do with the scrapbook.com supplies, stamps, and stencils. And like I mentioned, I have a giveaway going. So I have some duplicates of scrapbook.com supplies in my craft room, and I wanted to give them away. So I have over at my blog instructions in the blog post that goes with this video how to enter for this giveaway. I'm gonna give it a week. So on the 12th of January, I'm gonna be picking a winner, and then I'm going to announce it on my blog. So I have links down below to my blog posts. I've also got links to all the products used if you're interested. But go ahead and hop on over there. I think I've got like 3 or 4 stamp sets I'm giving away and about 5 stencils. So I do have quite a bit that I'm giving away. So if you want to be entered to win some of these scrapbook.com goodies, head on over to my blog, follow the link down in the description, and you can read how to enter that giveaway. I'm really super excited. This year I'm going to be trying to do more giveaways and just give back to all of you viewers and followers that I appreciate so much. So thank you so much for watching today. Make sure you follow the links below to enter into that giveaway. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy these scrapbook.com stamps and stencils as much as I did. So have a great day, everyone. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you later. Bye.